This is dominating Howie Roseman's dreams, my friend. The Philadelphia Eagles already have the best cornerback duo on the planet, 2 first-team All-Pros in the same year. But the smartest GM in the NFL may be about to add yet another elite piece to the most feared defensive unit in the league. We're talking about a Super Bowl cornerback with 12 interceptions in his career, who prevented opposing quarterbacks from completing more than half the passes thrown his way. A player who is only 26 years old at the absolute peak of his career, and the Eagles have the cap space to make it happen right now. If you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because this move could completely redefine what is already the best secondary in football. I'm going to tell you who this player is, why he's a perfect fit for Vic Fangio's scheme, what the numbers say about him, why this isn't the first time he's been linked to Philadelphia, and why Howie Roseman would be out of his mind to let this guy walk to another team. With the 2026 offseason arriving at full speed, the Philadelphia Eagles front office faces a very interesting puzzle. How do you improve a team that just won the Super Bowl? The answer, in most cases, is simple. You don't improve much. But the Eagles aren't most teams, and Howie Roseman isn't a common GM. The Eagles' cornerback room is already, without any exaggeration, the best in the NFL. Quinyon Mitchell and DeJean are the only 2 cornerbacks on the same team to earn first-team All-Pro honors in the same year in the history of the league. Let that sink in for a second. In the history of the league. DeJean was the best slot cornerback in the world in 2025. He led all nickel corners in the NFL in coverage grade, completion percentage allowed, and passer rating conceded. Mitchell, on the other hand, posted the lowest completion percentage allowed among all starting cornerbacks in the league that season. We're talking about 2 young monsters on affordable contracts at the very beginning of their careers. But the Eagles need a quality outside cornerback to complement this group, especially with changes on the horizon. And that's exactly where the name that's been dominating NFL news this week comes in. The name that has emerged front and center is Riq Woolen, cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks. According to an analysis by Christian D'Andrea of USA Today, published on FTW, the Eagles are the predicted landing spot for Woolen in the 2026 free agency period. And look, that prediction isn't random. It makes complete sense when you break down his profile and the team's actual needs. Woolen is 26 years old, is a former Pro Bowler, has accumulated 12 interceptions across 4 seasons with the Seahawks, and according to the data cited in the analysis, he never allowed a passer rating above 80.0 over a full season in Seattle. For those less familiar with that stat, a passer rating below 80 is the mark of an absolutely elite cornerback. The league average for passes thrown at cornerbacks sits well above that number. Woolen has been consistently below that line for 4 straight seasons. That's not luck, that's repeated excellence. And there's more. Woolen just played in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He arrives with big game experience, with maximum pressure football, with playoff experience at the highest possible level. At only 26 years old, this isn't a declining veteran being brought in to hold things together for 1 season. You're potentially signing one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL for the next 5 years. D'Andrea's analysis points out that the Eagles currently have approximately $18 million in cap space, more than enough to bring in Woolen without requiring dramatic financial gymnastics. Woolen will likely cost more than second-tier options like Alontae Taylor or Nahshon Wright, as the analysis itself acknowledges, but the fit with the Eagles' young and athletically dominant group is simply too perfect to ignore. Now let's talk about what Riq Woolen would mean inside Vic Fangio's system, because this is crucial to understanding why the fit is so natural. Fangio builds schemes around cornerbacks who can cover man-to-man without extra safety help for long stretches of the game. That kind of coverage demands extraordinary athleticism, arm length, explosiveness, reaction speed, and the confidence to compete for passes one-on-one without a safety acting as a safety net overhead. Woolen checks every one of those boxes. D'Andrea's analysis highlights exactly that. Elite length and elite speed. With Mitchell operating as the #1 outside cornerback and DeJean dominating the slot in a way that no other player in the league can replicate, adding Woolen as the second outside cornerback would create a trio that would be, without hyperbole, the best ever assembled in Philadelphia's recent history. Opposing offensive coordinators simply wouldn't have anywhere to throw the football. You could call the best passing coordinator in the NFC East and he wouldn't have an answer for this group. Do the Eagles actually need Woolen? That's the central question, and it's worth exploring honestly. From a depth and long-term planning standpoint, the answer is yes. The analysis mentions that Adoree Jackson performed well for the Eagles last season, but he's approaching 31 years old and is heading toward free agency. That leaves a real hole in the unit in the short term. Woolen wouldn't just be an upgrade over Jackson. It would be a complete transformation of the depth philosophy in the secondary. You'd be placing a Super Bowl cornerback at only 26 years old as the third best cornerback on a roster that already features 2 All-Pros. Think about what that means for opposing teams trying to build a game plan against the Eagles. You don't have a wide receiver good enough to isolate any of the 3. That's dynasty-level depth. That's the kind of investment that separates teams that try to win the Super Bowl from those that actually come back to defend it. The financial side also deserves a closer look. The Eagles currently have around $18 million available, according to the data cited in the analysis. It's worth remembering that Howie Roseman is recognized across the entire league for his ability to extract maximum value from every dollar of the salary cap. He's the one who built the Super Bowl championship roster without compromising the team's financial future, a feat that very few GMs could ever pull off. Roseman has already proven that he knows how to restructure contracts, free up space when needed, and find creative extensions that keep the team competitive year after year. If anyone knows how to fit Woolen into the budget without hurting the team's other needs, it's him. The question isn't whether the Eagles have the money. They do. The question is whether Woolen will be Roseman's #1 priority this offseason, or whether other positional needs will compete for those resources. One thing the analysis makes absolutely clear is that this is not the first time Woolen has been linked to the Eagles. He has already appeared as a natural fit for Philadelphia in previous analyses, and the interest appears to be genuine and recurring, not just a random one-off speculation from a single analyst. With 12 interceptions over 4 seasons, a career completion percentage allowed of just 54.2%, and the recent experience of helping the Seahawks reach the Super Bowl, Woolen has the resume, the age, and the athletic profile to be a long-term investment that makes sense now and will continue to make sense 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Picture the full scenario. Mitchell is locking down the opposing team's #1 wide receiver, game after game. DeJean is destroying every receiver who dares to work the slot against him, and Woolen would be covering the opposing second outside wide receiver with that same efficiency and physical intensity. Where does an opposing quarterback go with the football? Does he try the tight end and find a Fangio linebacker waiting? Does he try the running back on a short pass and accept a minimal gain? It would be the ultimate tactical nightmare for any offensive coordinator in the NFC or the AFC who had to prepare a game plan against this defense in the playoffs. The clock is ticking, my friend. Free agency opens in March, and you can be sure the Eagles aren't the only team interested in a cornerback with Woolen's profile. Teams desperately needing to upgrade their secondaries, like the Los Angeles Rams and other NFC contenders, will be in the market for the same type of player. If Howie Roseman wants the Super Bowl cornerback from the Seahawks, he's going to need to move fast, be aggressive, and come with an offer that Woolen simply can't refuse. This is not the kind of player who sits on the free agency market indefinitely. 26-year-old cornerbacks with a Pro Bowl selection, Super Bowl experience, and elite statistics don't last out there. Someone is going to pay. The question is whether it's going to be Roseman or another GM. So let me ask you directly. Do you think the Eagles should do everything possible to sign Riq Woolen in this free agency? Or do you prefer that Howie Roseman invests that cap space in another area of need, like offensive tackle or edge rusher? What's your #1 priority for this offseason? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one and love seeing the Eagles community debate. And if you believe the Eagles are building a dynasty that will dominate the NFL for the next 5 years with this cornerback group, share this video right now with that Eagles fan you know. Fly, Eagles, fly.